And before you know it, everything is over. I teach college classes for another university, Azusa Pacific University, and there's 9 weeks in those classes, and I thought those went fast, but this went really fast. It's like here we are. It's already like week 5, and we're now encroaching on the end of the course, and I barely feel like I got to know anybody, which is kind of a bummer because being able to work and move and provide an influence, good, bad, or otherwise, to people's lives is part of the reason why this gig is fun. Well, plus you get to talk on the microphone, and who doesn't like to hear themselves, rattle on about who knows what. But I have to say that I have enjoyed this, and I tried this video thing, and I really would be interested in your feedback on this intercourse, this dialogue that we've got going here, where you can see me, you know who's grading your stuff, and when the voice in the email comes back, you know who it was. And I hope that the effort is appreciated. I certainly didn't mind doing it. It's easy enough. I just connect a video camera to the computer and a super cool microphone. I can tell you where to get one. You can connect one to your own desk at home, and it'd be all like cool, stuff. So there's a few things that I wanted to go over with this week, and one of them was one of the discussion points, which I first off, I'm going to scold everybody for not paying enough attention in high school biology. Are you ready? The question in the discussion point, and I've got it on the monitor over there, so I have like 3 monitors. I have this one, that one, and then the one over there. And so I'm reading off there, and it says, your text describes 5 factors that influence thinking and intelligence building. So a person who thinks critically, appropriates questions, blah, 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 you remember it. The speed with which they can run that process, that is intelligence. So you figure out somebody who's smart, has a lot of intelligence, those are folks who can do that very, very fast and very accurately. So the question now is, choose 2 factors that enhance intelligence and thinking. Okay. First off, are they talking about that you personally can enhance? Well, you're not enhancing their genes. It's not going to happen. Maybe you saw a post I put in there and it said, unless you have gene transfection technology, you're never going to enhance that. It is what it is. Some people's brains are just wired better. They're wired quicker. They absorb certain types of knowledge faster. Howard Gardner dealt with this kind of stuff when he was talking about multiple intelligences, and I think, in a sense, was trying to create a much more tangible shell to try to nail down that different people's brains, they inherit a certain type of wiring for their brains and how those brains work in certain types of academic situations. Some people are mathematical logical. Some people are musical. I think one of my AP Chem students from last year was, I started to see his intelligence by the music that he played. I could see that kid's brain worked. And so I continued to push him to push himself. And through the encouragement, and I guess you could qualify that as the environment, my influence to try and push him a little bit farther than he felt he was capable of going is eventually what got him into college. So the environment there played an important role, but had Grant not had the genetics to begin with, it wouldn't have mattered how hard I would have pushed. Now, I don't mean to be derogatory, but the LBC kids I have right now, they're really good kids, but their brain wiring is not as efficient, or not. They don't go through that cognitive process as quickly as some of these AP kids did, because they thrive in that academic environment. Your genes are set; they are inherited. ADHD is a neurological condition that they have associated. Now, this is something I wasn't necessarily sure about either, but they associated the symptoms of ADHD with increased phenylalanine production. Now, phenylalanine is an amino acid. And amino acids are like Legos that you put them together in long, like choo-choo train-like polymers. And when they wrap together, because of here it comes, intermolecular forces that force a three-dimensional geometry that then interacts with other three-dimensional geometric proteins that then create the function of the larger protein. So phenylalanine is just one amino acid out of 20 that are used by the body to create and build things to make things functional for the body. So I don't know. I don't know necessarily what to make about that, but I do know that in some cases you cannot treat that with diet. You cannot treat that with holistic kinds of treatments. I have a son who's horrendously ADHD, and we tried that stuff. What worked? A prescription for what was it called? I forget what that stuff is called. But it's a stimulant that basically slows down the executive processes, the chemistry in the executive processing part of the brain that makes them think just a little bit. Now, that chemical family comes from an amphetamine family. Methamphetamine is a narcotic. And amphetamine is a family of chemicals that have stimulant type or mood altering capabilities. And that's part of the reason why certain drugs are prescription, because they have the ability to alter your mood. And that's pretty important for a lot of people. So they will go to large extents to try and get those mood altering drugs because it changes how their brain works, which changes how they feel because of their genetics. I don't see a single thing on there that could trump genetics. You can't make smart. You can't. There's no. And forgive me for this, but there's no pill for stupid. You can't change it. You can slow brains down, but if there's intelligence there, it will expose it. If there's nothing there, it's like trying to squeeze orange juice out of a coconut. It's just not going to happen. Intelligence is genetically derived. Now, you can increase the capability of the neural environment that one inherits to an extent. Life experiences can enhance that. If you can take your average person and give them an enormous amount of life experience, and you will increase their general IQ, but it won't change the rate at which their neural network fires, because that's genetic. I hope that clears a little bit of that confusion, maybe, because I'm really not a big fan of that question, just because I know more about the chemistry and the neurology and the biology than probably the people that wrote that. So it's difficult for me to kind of process it, but I can see how the others would play an effect. Will, volition, that's a big deal. I mean, if you can't convict yourself to want to do it, it makes it really, really difficult. So I can see that. I can see it. Life experiences, like I said, if you go a lot of places as a kid and you travel a lot of places, you have additional schematic understandings of, let's say, the Revolutionary War. If you actually traveled to Boston and Philadelphia, you have that additional visual schematic reference to be able to embed information with. The associative memory, that's important. So I hope that you feel free to let me know if that made it worse, and I'll try and unconfuse it for you. The stuff coming up this week is relatively straightforward. We are now going to try and apply it. The guidance from week 4 included at the bottom a brief introduction and tour through a unit that I created a number of years ago called Boldly Going, and it uses a lot of high-tech media production stuff, like the things in here and computers stuff, and of course, my brother helped, and he's a graphic artist for Sony Online. That helps when you have a graphic artist in your back pocket. But week 5 focuses on applying it. So I took that Boldly Going unit, and on the week 5 guidance, I broke it down according to all of the pieces that you would need to incorporate into a lesson that you were going to build for the purpose of being brain friendly. If you have any other additional questions that you might want to throw my direction, please feel free to, do the Ask the Instructor thing. You can email me. I'd be more than happy to get back to you. And this is our last week together, so if you do want to continue our conversation, I'd be more than happy to leave personal email or something like that that's not through Ashford, because when I don't teach here, I don't come back. So if you would like a personal email, I'd be more than happy to give it to you. So otherwise, good luck this week, and we'll see you in the classroom.